Hello, I'm Novelette Witt with Morgen Real Estate. Our guest today is Dr. Mike Matthews, who is the Superintendent of Manhattan Beach Unified School District. During the recent State of the City address in Manhattan Beach, Dr. Matthews addressed some of the 2018-19 goals set by the Board of Trustees. We'll address some of those momentarily. In the meantime, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Mike Matthews. Hello, Dr. Matthews. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
I'm glad to be here, and thank you for coming to our State of the City. It was nice to see you in the audience.
Thank you. It was good fun. One of the 2018-19 goals set by the School District's Board of Trustees is to create a culture of inclusion and care district-wide. What does that mean, and how has it been implemented?
So this has been something our board's been looking at for a number of years now. Manhattan Beach is a very high-performing district. Our parents expect great things of their schools and of their own students, and our students expect great things of themselves. A lot of our students see themselves going to the best colleges in the country, and a lot of them will go to some of the best colleges in the country. But that creates a lot of stress because everything's competitive these days. It's a worldwide environment, and so we're seeing more and more in our schools and in schools like ours that there are really negative implications of that student stress. So a big emphasis for us has been, how do we create an environment where our students can still be challenged and they can learn, but they can do so in a caring environment that really minimizes the stress. There's still, some stress is good, obviously, but too much stress is downright harmful to students. So that's been the challenge we're fighting. How do we reduce the number of hours they're spending? How do we get them to have actual 8 or 9 hours of sleep in a day, which they actually need? How do we make them realize that the be-all and end-all is not getting into one of 15 or 20 colleges in the country, that lots of great colleges out there will help them succeed? And there are a number of places like us that are trying to help their students with the same thing.
In April 2017, the Board of Trustees adopted the Inclusion Stand-Up Commitment. How is that being incorporated, especially with new students to the district?
So this commitment, the work towards this started, this inclusion commitment, it started a few years before that when we had a really upsetting incident in our community where an African American family in the community had their door lit on fire in a very horrific act. Our community came together and held a vigil for the family, and I believe the family felt embraced by our community. But everyone, it woke everybody up. And all of us said, what can we do? And so a number of us, not just the school people, but churches and synagogues and the city and our education foundation and our school district have been working together to say, what can we do to make sure that this issue of inclusion stays at the forefront? It doesn't happen by being quiet about it. It happens by being deliberate and very clear about our expectations. So we now have that poster in every classroom in our district. When I spoke and you saw at the State of the City address, I put it out there and we gave it to every citizen who was attending. It's a chance for families to have conversations around the dinner table. I put it in our newsletters as well. When there's a good news or bad news regarding inclusion, I refer to it on top of that. So it's just a way to keep this issue front and center. It's that important.
With safety being a big issue in schools today, how is the school district able to ensure that all campuses provide a safe environment?
Well, you've hit a tough issue right there. Safety is something that has been, again, all too evident, problems with safety across the nation. And every time a school shooting incident occurs, we take a close look at that. And on the one hand, it impacts us and saddens us. On the other hand, we look at what we can learn for ourselves. We do a lot. We communicate very closely with our police and fire departments. In fact, they spoke to every single one of our employees at the beginning of this school year about their recommendations for safety. We drill the heck out of our students and our teachers so that we know what to do in a variety of situations. We have school safety plans that change as recommendations come forth. We have local agencies that support us with trauma kits that we can use in the classroom. And then most recently, our city donated funds to us to to help us to enclose our campuses fully, because that was the #1 recommendation from our police department. And so that work is being finished as we speak, so that we now have fully enclosed campuses across the school district, and we are always talking about safety.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews, for talking to us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for your interest and support.